what purpose does the gentlelady from Tennessee rise?
I move to strike the last word and enter in a colloquy with the chairman.
Gentlelady is recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. When Congress was created, when it created the Transportation Security Administration in 2001, we defined TSA screeners in law as federal security screeners. Their role, as defined by the Aviation and Transportation Security Act, is to screen passengers and luggage at airports across the country. However, beginning in 2005, TSA administratively reclassified TSA security screeners as transportation security officers and proceeded to upgrade their uniforms to reflect those of federal law enforcement officers with metal officer badges. My concern, and those of many of my constituents, is that despite their appearance, TSA officers do not have any federal law enforcement training to reflect their current title and appearance. This can be confusing to the traveling public as they interact with TSA officers at airports and now on the highways, rail stations, ferry terminals, bus stations, and other mass transit facilities across the country. I strongly believe that Congress has an obligation to ensure that the title and appearance of federal employees properly reflects their training and background. Until we are able to pass a legislative fix to correct the TSA's administrative decision, we need to use the power of the purse to ensure that TSA screeners are not abusing the current perception that they are trained federal law enforcement officers. I would like to commend Chairman Carter and committee staff for their due diligence and dedication in working with my office to address this issue. I am pleased that we were able to reduce screener uniforms by $18 million, a 20% decrease, so that we can continue to monitor this issue. I look forward to continuing to work with Chairman Carter and his staff moving forward on finding a permanent solution. Yield back.
I move to strike the last word.
Gentleman's recognized for 5 minutes.
I want to thank the gentlelady for yielding, and I share her concern that this implication that these are law enforcement officers is a concern that anyone who's ever dealt with law enforcement officers should be worried about. So I thank her for working with us and explaining to us her concerns. I don't want anyone to be out there fooling the public into thinking they are trained law enforcement officers when they're not. And so I think that's an important thing at every level of law enforcement. Representative Blackburn brought this to my attention, and she brought it to the attention of the committee last year. We appreciate her staying on top of these issues. In fact, I asked the staff to look into this matter earlier this year. As a result, this bill cuts, as she's described, the screeners' uniforms by $18 million, about a 20% decrease. In fact, this bill calls for a net decrease of $387.5 million to TSA, or 8% below the FY13 enacted levels. Finally, the committee has directed TSA to provide a report describing a detail of how TSA is complying with the Buy American Act and provide Congress with a total number of uniforms and screener consumables purchased in fiscal year 12 and 13. Moving forward, we will continue to work with the gentlewoman from Tennessee to ensure TSA screeners are not abusing the perception that they are officers of the law, and we credit her for shedding light on this issue, and I thank her for bringing it to the attention of the committee. I'm willing to work with the gentlewoman in any way she chooses.
Thank the chairman. Yield back.
I yield back.
Gentleman yields back.